baby, you know, I know some Raid Shadow Legends players don't want to hear it, but man, you guys got it good over here. Let me tell you, someone who has his toes dipped in a lot of games like this, my gosh, this game is always pumping out new ways of playing their game in meaningful, fun ways. And of course, right, it's a mobile game, right? We know they want to make money, but they're making lots of money and they're giving us a lot of fun stuff, fun characters to play with on a pretty frequent basis. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Shout out the Galaxy of Heroes. If you know, you know. Anyways, people, I'm a little delayed on this, but at the same time, I'm not, because there's additional information that came out today in regards to a brand new game mode coming to Raid Shadow Legends, looking like towards the end of this year. Well, we're already at the end of it, pretty close to it though, at least. Grim Forest. And for folks out there maybe coming from Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, some of this might seem a little bit familiar, just like you know what else is familiar. Well, what's this thing that I got? Oh, that's right. My giveaway for all the new players out there, newly updated. You can get yourself a free Tholen Falbeard if you use my link down below. QR code up above. And at level 10, you get SWGoH. Level 20, you get SWGoH. And at level 30, you'll get Ruella. And don't forget, in your first 40 hours, use the promo code UDNIGHT. And you'll be able to get the ultimate Death Knight. An insane start, as we talked about the other day. But what's also insane is this right here. Now, you know, for those that play Galaxies, you know that that game's in a weird spot right now. For those that play Raid, let me put it this way. The recent update that Galaxies had after 10 years, I don't want to turn this into a ranting video for Galaxies, but playing games like this and playing games like Galaxies makes me appreciate other games, right? Imagine you get the Xenomorph, but they're like, wait, you guys can't use it for 3 months. And then they release a game mode that is literally on training wheels, and they're holding your hand, holding you by the leash, and they won't let you actually play their game mode and theory craft. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started. Grim Forest, next addition to the game, and I feel like we just got Chimera, right? And they've been pumping a lot of other characters and big events. Always something going on here in Raid. Now, today they just released the boss skills. But before we do that, I want to talk about what the heck is the Grim Forest. This was from a couple days ago. 2025, they're closing out with what is shaping to be one of the most ambitious, transformative updates in the history of Raid Shadow Legends, similar to a landmark release like Doom Tower, Hydra, and the Curse City. Wow. Playrion's newest endgame feature, Grim Forest, is poised to redefine progression, exploration, and long-term account growth. God, I try to leave our baggage on Galaxy Heroes behind, but it's like I feel bad for the people that are just stuck in Galaxy Heroes and they're just accepting the crap that they get. It's like you don't have to just eat crap. There are cool, meaningful ways of playing with a Hero Collector game. Anyways, there is more than this is more than another battle node. Grim Forest. This is what's really interesting. It's a shifting, malicious landscape with its own rules, its own rewards, and its own personality. For veteran players, it's an entirely new endgame ecosystem. For mid-game players, it's a fresh challenge that scales with ambition rather than raw power. Grim Forest is not simply played, it is survived. So, welcome to the Gloomlands. Welcome to the Grim Forest. Let's go ahead and click on this here, see what we get. Shadow Legends, I don't know. They should have me do their trailers. I could save them a lot of money. Who am I kidding? These people are rolling money over here. Grim Forest is a 55, level 55 plus exploration mode and around a mutable map system, which is interesting. So kind of like a roguelike type of thing they're working with here. Limited team deck mechanics and powerful expedition only upgrades. At first glance, it resembles the branching structure of Curse City or Doom Tower, but the similarities end there. This feature pushes deeper into roguelite territory, offering unpredictable routes, hidden danger, and the constant pressure of navigating through fog-covered terrain. Moving on, progress requires a new activity resource, distorted energy exclusive to Grim Forest. Every action from clearing combat stage to interacting with points of interest demands careful resource management. Players are not expected to brute force this mode with a stacked roster. Instead, Grim Forest emphasizes preparation, decision-making, and efficient exploration. For those that do play Galaxy Heroes, This kind of gives a little bit of Conquest vibes in a way. But let's keep moving on. Upon entering the forest, players see only a shroud of rolling mist. Each stage you clear push the fog back just enough to reveal the nearby area, when the widened map remaining unreadable until approached. Even though layouts shuffle every monthly rotation, the silhouettes of future stages are visible at a distance. You always see where to go, just not what awaits you. Can you pull up Galaxy of Heroes, Gary? For those that maybe are not familiar with the game, just so you can at least visually see what they're trying to describe, because this part is very similar to what Galaxy Heroes and their Conquest is, which, funny enough, Conquest when it came out the Galaxy Heroes was wildly popular. It was wildly successful. And then, well, the developers have a history, in my opinion, in Galaxy Heroes where they take something that's really successful and then they end up making it worse and worse with subsequent updates. You know, they don't somehow know the whole thing. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, it was good and they broke it. I don't know. They have a very interesting knack for things like that. But if you go over here to Conquest, actually, it's going to be, actually, no, this is perfect. Yeah, so awesome. So you can see like the loose silhouette as to where I can go. And it only shows you in like the first few nodes or first few like battles here, like what's ahead of you. And you can pick, all right, I want to go up here, then down here. But I can't see what's beyond here, right? Enemy force seems to be located, but we don't quite know. Then there's like these bonus nodes that give you resource to power up your squad, but you can't see heads. So I'm assuming that's kind of what they're talking about with this here. So even though the layouts shuffle every monthly rotation, silhouettes of future stages are visible at a distance. You always see where to go, just not what awaits you. So pretty much just like what I showed you. This creates deliberate tension. You plan your direction, but every step forward could reveal combat, treasure, or something far stranger. And here there are monthly rotations with the twist. Grim Force works on a monthly reset cycle. However, unlike Doom Tower or Centranos, each rotation rearranges the entire landscapes. This is interesting. Stage positions shift, routes unfold differently, and even normal hard mode features entirely distinct layouts. The hard mode also hides an extra region reserved only for players looking for the most punishing content Raid has ever offered. Totally for me. Yeah, Gary, it's totally for me, right? I'm not struggling in Faction Wars hard mode. Definitely not. No, what are you talking about, Gary? I'm like the best at it. Despite the resetting map, exploration is supported by a boost system that encourages experimentation rather than forcing perfection. Temporary expedition buffs obtained during a run significantly empowers even smaller rosters, making the mode both challenging and widely accessible. So maybe they're talking about, for example, inside of Galaxy of Heroes, there are these consumables that you can equip. Like, for example, this will boost your evasion, your speed. This one's one of the better ones, for example. Anytime you gain a buff, you have a 50% chance reducing your cooldowns. So it's probably maybe something like that, which kind of gives you some temporary power onto your team. So that's what I'm guessing. Stages, events, and exploration. Grim Force offers far more than linear combat. Its stages include battles, loot caches, special encounters, and mysterious nodes that could reshape your entire run. Some stages are brutal gauntlets, while others purely exist to reward the curious. This mode's design encourages backtracking, risk-taking, and avoiding combat when it isn't optimal. A successful expedition requires knowing when to push forward, when to divert into side paths, and when to hunt rewards instead of enemies. And now we have this limited team decks. Strategy over roster size. Unlike traditional content, you cannot bring your entire roster into Grim Forest. Players must assemble team decks, selecting only from a limited pool of champions for the entire expedition. This dramatically elevates decision making, which champions have flexibility across multiple stage types, which roles can be compressed or substituted, which picks scale best with temporary expedition boons, and even whale rosters cannot simply overpower the mode. Your choices matter. Now, in Galaxy Heroes, the way they went about it in Conquest, every battle I do with the team, they lose what's called stamina. And they lose 10%. You have 100% in total. And every 10% stamina you lose, your characters get slower, weaker, they're more frail. It sounds like they're kind of doing something in that vein. I mean, I'm kind of getting sort of the vibe of Curse City. And this is one of my challenges with Curse City hard mode, right? I'm sure a lot of you guys understand the challenge with this. Like, let's say, for example, you know, I got to do this boss down here with the Scarab. I'm going to have a hard time with it, right? Because it's conditioning it on a certain type of affinity within a certain faction. Sometimes it's a very specific role, and I might not have the tools available to me, which is part of the fun and creativity, and it's kind of forced me to be like, oh, I can't go there, but I can maybe go up there. So part of the fun of mapping out your quest here. Let's keep moving on, shall we? What do we got here? Did I already get this here? No, I did not. Parallel progression, expedition boons. Running Grim Forest is not about clearing a linear sequence of encounters. Each expedition unfolds as its own journey, and many of the treasures discovered grant unique power boosts usable only within this mode. And I think probably the best example, again, I'm probably preaching to the choir if you play Galaxies, but if not, essentially you get these things in Galaxies called data discs. And you can basically put together a deck of like 12 points, I believe it is. And each one, as you can see, there are different rarities, different point levels, and these allow you to have some crazy power-ups for your team only for this particular game mode. So if we go ahead and check out my consumables, you go to data disc, you can see all the cool stuff that I've equipped onto my team. So it sounds, and again, this is one of the cool things. I feel like if I really think about it, this is probably the last interesting game mode that Galaxy has really put out. And again, as I said, they've definitely screwed a ton of this. Every update, they make it worse, harder in terms of more resources needed, more energy, more crystals, makes it longer, more complicated, more chores. It's long story. Let's keep moving. As we can see here, these boons support smaller accounts by letting mid-tier champions punch far above their weight. Meanwhile, stronger accounts gain even more strategic depth by discovering synergies exclusive to the forest. And importantly, not all rewards are temporary. Many treasures persist outside the Grim Forest, turning each successful expedition into a long-term progression for your account. So here are Hell Hades' last thoughts here. Grim Forest is shaping to be Raid's most ambitious content release since Hydra. I will say I've done a lot of different like raid bosses in these games, whether you look at Galaxy Heroes, Raid Shadow Legends, other games of that nature. The Hydra, it's one of the more interesting bosses, I think, when it comes to these type of big raid bosses that you fight, not just exclusive to this game. A lot of fun stuff kind of managing all the heads. I feel like from a creativity standpoint, I think Hydra is more interesting than Chimera. I mean, Chimera's got its own fun quirks to it, but for me, Hydra is a lot more interesting, although it's not, at least for me, it's not as simmable with just hitting the auto sim or whatever you call it. And it's like, sometimes my score is all over the place, but in actually playing the game mode, Hydra's been a ton of fun to play around with. Even to this day, it's like I still like to go and just kind of mess around with some new characters in there. Wild, I know, right? So it blends exploration, roguelike, decision-making, shifting maps, lore-driven world building, and long-term account enrichment into a single mode. For veteran players hungry for a fresh endgame experience, it's a massive new frontier to conquer. For mid-game players, this mode offers power boosts and rewards that don't rely on overwhelming rosters. This is more than another dungeon. It's a hostile world waiting to test the edge of your roster and your strategy. And as they close out, Grim Forest is set to close out 2025 with one of the biggest gameplay shakeups this game has ever seen. And we can't wait to descend into the mist. Now, we also got some other deets over here. We have, as of today, some new boss skills revealed, and look at this right here. This kind of gives me vibes of like that, what is it, like Harry Potter when the book kind of comes to life. It's like this little monster, kind of gives me vibes like that there. And here we go. The Mimic brings a layered tactical design that continually disrupts your team's rhythm. Specializing in punishing buff-heavy teams, dismantling your competition with Terminator manipulation, enemy replicas, and a unique ingestion mechanic that can temporarily move your champions from battle. Now, we can just, my gosh, look at I can't even read this here. Hold on. Enhance, zoom. Well, that didn't help me out at all, the zoom. Well, anyways, let's see if we can try to read this here. Holy cow, man. So we have the Plunder Pounds. Attacks on enemies, deals additional pure damage equal to 5% each target's max HP for each buff on them. Ooh. Has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Lashing Spiral. Attacks one enemy, place a stun debuff for 1 turn. Will attack all remaining enemies if the stun debuff was in place. Oh man, so you're getting screwed one way or another. Decrease the turn meters of all enemies without a stun by 30%, dude. And we have Feeding Time. Summons a mini mimic to the battle who ingests the enemy with the highest crit damage for 4 turns. The mini mimic's HP is equal to 20% of the mimic's HP. Its defense is equal to 70% of the mimic's defense. Okay, it's basically scaling, right? At the start of the Mimic's turn, the Mini-Mimic deals damage equal to 25% of the target's champion's current HP. My goodness. After 4 turns, or when the Mini-Mimic is defeated, the target champion is returned to battle, and the Mini-Mimic leaves the battle. Only one champion can be transferred into the Mini-Mimic at a time. And ingest. I'm assuming this is similar to, like, what the Hydra does here, right? Whenever this Mimic takes a turn in battle, the Mini-Mimic will deal damage to the ingested champion equal to 25% of their current HP. The ingested champion will be freed from Mimic when it is defeated. So sort of like what the Hydra does. When ingested, a champion is considered removed from battle. They cannot receive buffs, debuffs, or instant effects, and they cannot be selected for a target skill. The ingested state cannot be removed except by defeating the mini-mimic or waiting for 4 turns. Okay, so it seems sort of in the vein of that. Fortune's Feast, passive ability. For every 3 buffs the enemy team receives, decrease the cooldown of Feeding Frenzy skill by 1 turn at the start of the Mimic's turn. If there's a mini-mimic present in the battle, heals the Mimic by 25% of its max HP. And then your usual things of Almighty Immunity, Almighty Persistence, making immune to a bunch of stuff. So that way you can't just stun lock it, fear, all that stuff. Let's see, Awakened Weakness. Decrease the damage inflicted by the boss. Reach Awakening level on the target champion. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I think we've seen these in some other places. Almighty Strength, Flame Proof. Yeah, damage from HP burn debuffs cannot exceed 1% of the boss's max HP. So basically, screw you, Geomancer. That is a massive F you to Geomancer. What else we got here? Fergius, the Trove Master. All right. Let's take a look and see what we got here. Let's just go straight to the kit. Straight to the kit here. Mine, mine, mine! Attacks enemies 50% chance of stealing random buffs from each other. Man, they really, both of these bosses, they do not like buff-heavy teams. Can't catch me. Attacks all enemies, place a 30% decrease speed debuff and a 50% increase attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Steals 30% of the target's turn meter. Cannot be resisted by targets under any buffs. Yeah, they're really saying screw your buffs, man. This damage inflicted by the skills increase by 10% for each gold-plated layer. So another new effect here. The gold-plated buff grants Fergius layers of additional HP beyond their max HP. Gold-plated layers, so it's like protection? Is that kind of like a bonus protection? I'm thinking like Galaxy of Heroes terms, maybe? Protection up. Let's say gold-plated layers cannot be removed. Yeah. So this sounds like, actually, I guess to keep it more specific to Raid, this sounds like maybe a gnarlier version of Stone Skin, potentially. When Fergius receives damage while under gold-plated layers, it is first applied to the gold-plated layers. Each layer of gold-plated can block a certain amount of damage and is destroyed after receiving the amount of damage. Isn't gold like one of the weaker armors in like Minecraft? They should have made this diamond-plated. Isn't there something better than diamond? I'm not really a Minecraft nerd. Was it Netherite or something? I don't know. Anyways, moving on. When a gold-plated layer is destroyed, Fergius will receive damage equal to the value of that gold-plated layer, and all their enemies will receive a portion of that damage. Okay, any surplus damage to a gold-plated layer is dealt directly to Fergius. So yeah, it sounds like I guess a different iteration of what Stone Skin's about. Hardened Avarice! That's not how you read it, but it's more fun to say it that way. Places 5 layers of gold-plated. Each layer is equal to 10% of his max HP. Whenever a layer is destroyed, this deals damage to Fergius equal to the value. We already read this. Also deals damage to Fergius. Yeah, we already read all this. Yeah. 24 Carat Thief. I love these names here. Has a 10% chance of evading an enemy skill. That's always fun. And all of its accompanying effects increases Fergius' speed by 5 and chance to evade by 2%. Each turn, he is under at least 1 gold-plated layer. Stacks with a 200 speed and 50% evade chance. Oh my gosh. And then your usual Almighty Immunity, Almighty Weakness, Almighty Strength, Unfaltering Speed. What is this? Immune to decreased speed and turn meter reduction effects. So yeah, sorry Armands, you can't just lock them up all day. And also massive FU to people like Geomancer. So are these the only boss? I probably should have read the full thing, but I'm imagining there might be other bosses potentially that we might encounter, sort of like Doom Tower, where there's at least a handful of them here. Overall, I gotta say, if this is, I'm curious if there's gonna be anything tied. Here's the thing. As far as I can see with Raid Challenge, this is one of the things I love about the game. There's always a cool champion to chase, right? They always put a cool carrot. It's like, hey, if you do this game mode, guess what? You'll be able to get this cool mythical champion, right? You know, we got Polara for hard mode, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know in the normal mode. You know, you'll be able to get Lydia, which I got not too long ago. And that's always one of my favorite things. Like, it makes you excited to master a piece of content, to get this cool character at the end. And of course, you know, the Hydra, we got Mithrala. And then for Chimera, we got ourselves with Embers. So one of my favorite things, I'm assuming they're going to have some sort of characters associated with it. I'm not sure if it's going to be like Doom Tower, where there's quite a handful of characters that you can pick up. Like Galaxy Heroes, how Conquest works. Basically, every 3 months, there's a new character to chase. So about 4 new characters that come via Conquest only. And they're usually very powerful. So again, it's one of my favorite game modes in Galaxy Heroes. Maybe not so much the gameplay anymore, because they kind of ruined it. But I love getting a new character. It's my carrot that makes me play this game mode over and over and over again. But anyways, I am super stoked to see Raid take a stab at this game mode. I am looking forward to seeing. Whew, man. Are we going to get our butts kicked now? Impossible. Impossible. You know why? Some God's gift to mobile gaming, aka the 8th day of creation. Looking forward to checking this out for the first time with all you guys. And hey, if you haven't joined Raid, what the heck are you doing? Make sure to use the link down below. Scan the QR code if you're a new player. I'll be able to hook you up with all these amazing champions. Amazing time to get involved. Dolan follower will be given right away. One of my favorite champions in this game. SWGoH level 10, Tagore level 20. And at level 30, you'll be able to get Ruella. And do not forget, make sure in your first 4 hours of starting a new account, use the promo code UD Night, and you'll be able to get the Ultimate Death Knight for free. Or is it UD? How's it go? UD? Am I misspelling it? What the heck is it? Well, it's one of those promo codes out there. I showed it in the video the other day. It's Ultimate Death Knight. I'm an idiot, but you guys already knew that. Thanks so much for stopping by. And as always, remember, now I'm annoyed. I gotta rewatch my video. Hold on. No, it's going to annoy me here. Gary, pull up my video the other day. What was the promo code I told people to use? Literally just made a video on it like yesterday. All right, let me see here. All right, let's see. No, that's not the video I'm looking for. No, we're gonna find it now. No, that's not. There is the video. Okay, so let's open up this video. Yeah, okay. Where in the heck did I have this thing? Hold on. Just give me a second. We're almost there. I can smell it. Hold on. Keep going. Keep going. All right, here it is. It is, UD King. My bad, UD King. That's the one. I was close. Boom! I know I eventually figured it out. Anyways, thank you for stopping by. I'm glad you guys deal with my shenanigans because it makes me want to say how it's great to be in the Empire today.
Oh, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.